Good morning, ladies, and welcome to the Women's Coffee Club. We created this club to provide a safe space for women to share and inspire each other. This morning, we're so grateful to have Josette Diaz presenting for us. She's local here. I met her in the San Diego area in the North County part of San Diego, and she'll be presenting. Is it Be Your Own Soulmate, Josette?
Your
Is
Own
that the
Soulmate.
title?
Yes.
Yeah, that's her signature session. So I'm so excited. So Josette, if you don't mind, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background and why you decided to choose this topic. Thank you.
Sure. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Josette Diaz, and I'm a self-awareness coach for midlife women. And I was in the middle of going through my own transformation. And out of that, life had to turn upside down so I could get right side up. And through that process, I discovered and learned each step of the way how to be my own soulmate. And so that's what I'm going to be talking to you about today, because I help high achieving women move from feeling like they're successful on paper, everything looks great, yet inside they feel like something's missing. And when we get into midlife, I feel like it's the most beautiful, perfect opportunity for us to have a second act because we've learned a lot of things. And part of what we go through is as we are developing into adults, we have tried on different identities to get through adulthood because nobody really teaches us how to be an adult when we're young, right? I mean, we know we're supposed to balance our checkbook. We know we need to pay our bills. We know we need to pick a career. Some of us may want families, some of us may not. Whatever that path is for you, you have already started to bring together pieces that equal an identity. Yes, reset once in a while. Very good, Victoria. That's so true. And as we are developing these identities, we put on different pieces of ourselves. And then we start looking at the beliefs around those identities. And so when we make decisions, this all kind of happens in the background. We're not necessarily aware of all of this right away. And we start to adhere to the beliefs of the identity that we put on. So, as an example, if I see myself, I became a young mother actually. When I was 24, I had my first child. So I saw myself as, this mother that I wanted to be. I had an idea of what that meant to me. And I made decisions based on this identity, not necessarily knowing that it was truth within myself, that I aligned with all of those pieces. I'm sorry, that's my dog. He's having an inside sneeze. so, so as I was making decisions in my life, I made those decisions based on this perception of how I saw myself as a mother. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I was aligned with those beliefs, not to even mention the beliefs that I was raised in were not necessarily what I align with. And I think that's so true for many of us. And as we get older, we start to recognize some of this. And when midlife comes along, which can start as early as 35, when we start hearing the rumblings of, is this the path I meant to take? Is this really what I want to do the rest of my life? How many of you can kind of relate to that? You can give me your virtual hand if you like. And when we get to that place, we start to look at how we've prioritized ourselves. We start to recognize how we have kind of kept ourselves last on the list. And if we are high achieving women, which I believe everyone in this room is, then it really can be a struggle to prioritize yourself at the top because you're so focused on getting so much done and you can handle a lot. And so you don't even recognize that you're taking on, piling it up, and not really paying attention to yourself. Like, how many of you can relate to that? Does that sound familiar to you? Yes. So this is what was occurring in my life, and everything had to fall apart so it could come together. And so that's what I want to talk to you today about. And I'm going to take you through a little bit of a process. We're going to talk about dreaming it, owning it, and having it. So I'm going to share some presentations with you. And give me just 2 seconds. I'm sorry that it looks like this. I still can't figure out for the life of me how to get it to do differently. So if anyone knows the trick, let me know. Okay, so be your own soulmate. Here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about dreaming it. We're going to discuss how the desire pulls you towards your vision. And then we're going to talk about owning it, reclaiming your energy, and what that really means. And then having it, the clarity of the woman that you are becoming and feeling the pull of in your vision. So let's move along with this. Now, I just like to kind of set the tone. So, desire, according to the Oxford languages, is a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. In A Course in Miracles, which is a book that I have, let's see, how do I say this? A book that I've read and reread, and it has a workbook. Is anyone familiar with A Course in Miracles? Beautiful. Okay. So this is a book that I've been looking at and studying and immersing myself in since I was 21, off and on. It's not something you have to do consistently, yet when I feel called, I show up to it, because in A Course in Miracle, it states that we were created in peace and that we remain in peace at our core. And what really separates us is when we wish to be special. So if anyone's familiar with Marianne Williamson, she puts it this way: we all have a part to play on this planet. And it's just like in our body. The heart has its mission, so do our lungs, so do our cells, so does our spleen and our kidney, etc. So we all have a part. When we think that we are special, like the heart's the only thing that makes our body move, I mean, okay, so it has other contributing factors, right, to make it all work together. When we try to separate ourselves out, we then lose ourselves from our peace, from our original design that we were created in peace. And so one of the things that Michael Beckwith says, he's the minister of Agape Church, if you're familiar, and he says, pain pushes until the vision pulls. This is my favorite quote because I think it's so descriptive of what we experience in our human condition. We are pushed by the pain towards our vision until the vision starts to pull you towards it. And so you will continue to be pushed towards your what is meant for you. And you will be going through your desire is your peace pulling you towards it. So what are you desiring? So here's an exercise. So those of you, if you have access to a pen and paper, grab your pen and paper. And I'd like to just ask you to, before we get started, to just close your eyes for just a moment and see a gold ball at the top of your head. And the gold ball begins to spin as it gently moves into your crown chakra, moving into your mind's eye, gently floating down into your throat as it gently makes its way right into your heart. And the gold ball begins to spin and get brighter and bigger and brighter and bigger until it explodes into a tiny million pieces. And just see your heart opening up, not too big, just a bit, so that you feel connected and grounded within yourself. And now gently bring your presence back into your eyes and just come back into the room. So keep that connection with your heart as you do this exercise. And what I'd like you to do is to draw one symbol that represents yourself. That can be anything you want it to be. So just take your time with that. Give yourself, we're going to take a few minutes to do that. Oops. And you can give me a thumbs up when you're done. Great. Okay. So I have two questions for you. Let me get back here so you can see it. Your first question is, how would you relate the symbol to your personality, characteristics, and behavior? So what does it represent within you?
You want us to answer?
I'd like you to write it down, and then I'd like to
okay.
Sorry, I should have given you better instructions. Let's see. There. Can you all hear that? Okay, great. And you'll notice there's a second question here as well, which is, what is your reaction to the symbol? Is it positive? Is it something to be proud of? I'm sorry about the misspell. Does it represent a strength or achievement? Is everyone pretty much done? I'm going to pause our music. I'm going to stop the share for now. And I'd like to bring you all into the room. And would anyone like to open by sharing what they received from this exercise?
Go ahead, Carol.
Um, I the first when you said draw a symbol, the first thing that really popped into my head without thinking about it, without forcing it, was an angel.
Mm,
And so the angel is running with arms outstretched, open chest, hair blowing. So my thoughts are, I don't think of myself as an angel. And the second thought was, why am I running? Why not float? Why not fly? Um, and I think after that, I think I'm still in the mode. What it is means to me is I'm still in the mode of servicing others, but I'm running towards my goals. I'm trying to make up for lost time, running
mm,
toward my dreams. Why not float though? Why not fly? Why not have it be easier, more easeful?
yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's a really beautiful awareness to have, right? Did you recognize that you were doing that
Uh, it
before?
during the process, that was a fabulous, beautiful process. During the process, yes, the feelings came to me,
Hmm.
the thoughts came
Yeah.
to me.
So now that you have that awareness, you can shape your day around that, right? Like you can be reminded that my angel is running and all I have to do is gently soar, right? So I love that new perspective for you.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes, I
Thank you,
need more
Carol.
ease for sure. I need more ease in my life.
Yes. And
Thank
there's
you.
so many different ways you can do that, just taking those little moments to give yourself so that it isn't about rushing. I think that so often, and I'll share just briefly with you something that I found for myself, because, when you are doing all the things, it's so easy to think that the priority is everything else because it has to get done. And you forget that you're included in that. And so when that you take a moment and you can reflect and you can see how you're doing it, you get to make different choices. So having that awareness opens up a space within you now that allows you to make different kinds of decisions where before you would just automatically move forward.
I love that. Do you want to continue and have each person share their
I would
thoughts?
love it if they're open to it. I don't want to make
Oh
anyone do
yeah,
something they don't want to. So yes,
normally what we do in our group. So let's Shall go ahead. Let's listen from you.
So it's funny because I've done this a bunch of times and it was interesting. I'm curious if you had done before me seeing what it was, I started thinking, oh crap, what am I going to do? A symbol of myself. And immediately a sun popped into my mind. So I actually drew a sun.
nice.
And it was interesting because as I was drawing it and as the meditation went on, and when you said, "Oh, the golden light is circling," it was already circling when I started looking at like feeling it from my crown and bringing it down. It was just like swirling, and so I thought about the swirling sun. I chose not to do a swirling sun because I know the swirl can have symbols of other things that I don't want to be associated with. So instead, I drew the sun, and I put the rays so that it at different strengths, because
Mhm.
sometimes I think I'm stronger than other times. And so I like thinking about it, I've thought about warmth, love, power, like radiating the ripples of the far reaching. And sometimes with the tinier rays, it's like maybe a smaller or not as strong of a impact.
Yeah.
And then other times it's like far reaching and you can like circle the globe. My reaction was, I was like, wow, that almost took my breath away. I was happy and calm and realizing it's the very positive. It reminded me of sitting as a child in the sun, and I've always loved the sun. I crave the sun. And so, yeah, anyways, that was mine.
I love that. Are you open to a little bit of input?
Sure, absolutely.
So what came to me when you were talking about how you drew the sun and you have the smaller rays and the larger rays. I'm curious if you have an awareness yet around when the ray's a little smaller, does that equal like your energy level, or is it based on activity? Do you have an idea of that?
I saw it from two different ways. Yes, that, but I also saw it um, sometimes and I saw it a lot as helping other people.
Mhm.
Sometimes you only need a little dose of energy, and other times you need a lot. And
Yeah.
sometimes when you're helping others or resourcing yourself, it might just be the tiny dose that makes the biggest difference.
Mhm.
And if you come in with like, I don't know, I have fruit flies right now. And so when you come in with the big old fly swat, you might make more damage when you're using a bigger powerful tool than
Yeah.
what you need. And so to me, it was interesting. I would have drawn more rays at different levels, and it's also symmetrical. I don't know, I love symmetry, but it also it's a yes and, so it's
Mhm.
knowing the right power to use in the situation. And I also think too, like with the sun, I kept thinking too, sometimes with the sun it's covered by clouds, and I think sometimes we're covered by clouds, or the
Mhm.
people that we're serving might be covered by clouds. And even if you're radiating your power or your light to the other people, they can still feel it. You can
Mhm.
still feel the warmth of the sun even if it's on a cloudy day. And so to me, it was having the right piece, but also the reminder to, like you're saying, to be like resourced properly so that your energy is in the right place.
Yes, I love though your perception of it though, because you're absolutely right. Like you don't need to bombard someone with heavy rays, right? Sometimes it just takes a little ray, a minor ray, and knowing when to pull back is like a sensation and a feeling. And it sounds like you already are very much in touch with that. So it would be interesting to look at as well whether or not those smaller rays sometimes can equal a lower energy level within yourself, so that you can then recognize, okay, my energy's low, but this takes a bigger impact. How do I
Yeah.
resource and tap into
Mm-hmm.
that larger?
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Michelle. Victoria.
Hi, everyone. Lachelle, I just love the drawing part that you did and the process you going through it, how it makes you feel and respond and all that. Very, very, very nice. Thank you also, Josette, for doing this Women of the Summit, Women of the Summit. That was another organization I belong to in Colorado with the Women's Coffee Club.
Well, you're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, and very well set up and presented. Anyway, as far as I'm concerned, the drawing that I've done is the peace sign. There we go, right there.
Okay.
And I did that once I saw your question. I didn't think. I just went in like automatic writing almost. What's the first thing is going to come out of my pen and of my mind? And that was it. And I truly believe it is true. I haven't forced myself into this because this has been going on with me since the age of 14, 15, when I got introduced to the subject of peace, world peace, and the things that exist in the world by all those organizations that are pro peace. And this has never left me my entire life up to now. And that's why the drawing just came out.
Love that.
How do I relate to this? Although, you know, in my reaction to the world or my responses to the world, because we have reactions and we have responses. I've been told that I'm kind, and I like to cultivate the feeling of kindness because I have deep rooted practices. So when you mention never to forget self, I mean, I'm on the top of my to-do list. Whatever amount of time I'm going to dedicate, but I'm on the top of my to-do list. And that start around, you know, sometimes 6 a.m., sometimes 6:30. I'm not onto those. I've never tried it, actually. One day I should. 4:30 in the morning. Put an alarm, because I'm the kind of person who's going to sleep through the night. So I would need to put an alarm and just dedicate that time to me even more. And then, so, but I start at 6:30 and I connect. I mean, the moment of prayers is essential and vital in my to-do list. And so I don't even, you know, my to-do list has a repeat button. So it repeats every day. And when I change it, I save it to future events. So it's always there. And I have a huge to-do list. And sometimes I accomplish, you know, so I can check things and I delete it so it doesn't show up on the future event. But I'm always there on my to-do list is, you know, Victoria first and replenish. I enjoyed that because when you were starting your presentation, with the Course of Miracles, that reminds me there are some beautiful recorded session. I have this app that's called Empower You, and there are a lot of writers, and so I really enjoy listening to Marianne. I wish she could become the president one day.
I know, Victoria.
And so that moment that I spend in the morning to be on top of my to-do list is the sign of peace, being at peace with me and then being at peace with the world.
Yeah.
I enjoy the feeling, and it gives me goosebumps like right now because I'm at peace with you guys here. And so holding this thought, you know, and this feeling for at least the 17-second type of an ounce of doubt, and that's why it's so hard sometimes to do focused meditation, to really knock out all the noise outside and the internal noise as well. Because I live during those 17 seconds, there must be at least, you know, 2 sometimes 3 times where my mind just go whoop.
Right.
Sideways.
Yes. I think that there's different levels of practice for meditation, and everybody resonates differently with that. And personally, I don't feel that it's wrong either way. I understand that the quiet meditation is to calm the mind, to not do the jotting off with your thoughts as often. At the same time, I tend to be a person who has a lot of creative ideas, and there's a lot of creative energy that flows all the time. So I prefer guided meditations because it allows me to focus. And that's not for everyone. And so I don't think there's ever really a wrong way to do that. And some people consider prayer to be meditation. It, to me, is the same thing. So I love that. I'd like to ask you a question though. I mean, it sounds like every day this is a strict practice for you, that this is just not even strict. I wouldn't say
vital.
That.
I call it vital. It's part of my life, you know,
right.
to be healthy.
Yes. And when you didn't do this before in your life, did you find yourself being carried to making decisions maybe out of just not really thinking. Sometimes you get into desperation and we don't even know we're feeling desperate, and we make decisions in that way. So has it brought you more discipline, is my question really. Has it brought you more discipline in the sense of like considering yourself first because you gave yourself time in the morning and that's your practice?
The practice in itself doesn't prevent the events in life,
Right.
that can be quite dramatic sometimes. But the energy that I keep inside
Yeah.
help me respond to that event,
Mhm.
good or bad, in a peaceful way.
Yes, that's what I wanted to know. Was it influencing the rest of your day and how
Yes,
you conduct? I love
it
that.
does.
That's
It
really
does.
beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that example. Appreciate
Thank you
that.
so much also, Josette. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. Is there anyone else who'd like to share? Can you just unmute? Benita?
Binta.
Binta, excuse me. I'm so sorry.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much, Josette, and it's
I
so
can't
nice to
read the
meet
tiny
you.
writing. It's nice to meet you too.
Oh yeah, because I'm sitting in my room is dark. If I open the window, it's going to be too shiny, so that's why I'm like, let me just leave that. But it's nice to meet you and everyone here that I haven't met before. My name is Binta, and when you asked a question about drawing a symbol, and thank you so much for your presentation and all your beautiful questions. The thing that came to mind immediately was a light bulb. And I'm not a good drawer. It's terrible.
Okay, you don't have to be.
But the light bulb represents for me a light of love. And that is how I carry myself. From a little girl, I can remember growing up back in Africa, how I always like draw other kids to me, and we would play under the mango trees and use sticks and do all that, playing mom and dad or whatever, and we will sing and dance. And but I will also watch other women talking about self-love, talking about taking care of oneself. I'll always watch them, even my own mother, give and give and give and give and give, never ever take the time to really take care of themselves. That stayed with me for forever until I came to this country. When somebody asked me, what do you want? Like, what do you want? That question is never asked back home. What would you like for yourself? What would you love? It's all about work, 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 work. Just take care of other people, take care of you are the household. Like if you're a woman back home, you are the house, you are the keeper of the house. You take care of everything. You take care of the family, cooking, everything. So for me, when I came here and I realized that, oh my God, I have to really take care of myself. I have to really be able to in tune with myself and love myself first. That made a huge difference. And for me, talking about meditation, meditation is where I really tend to I really get to really love myself, to really feel who I am, and to be connected with God. And also mindful guided meditation is huge for me. I use Deepak Chopra's app, and it's so simple for me. It really helps me a lot. And so love for me is, I carry love everywhere I go. I feel like everywhere I go, everybody I meet, even if I don't know you, I always say hello. If you look me in the eye, if I look you in the eye and you look at me, I say hello, just to smile. Because love is priceless. Yeah. It's priceless. You can give love even if you're not. You can be on the phone with somebody and still give them love. And so for me, love is what I I carry everywhere I go, and peace and everything that you all talk about is what I live for. And because growing up back home, I've been through, I've traveled a lot, I've journeyed through different ways in life where I wasn't treated very well, you know, but so that taught me in my life to never behave that way to other people. So love and light is always what I like to always share.
I love that. I
Thank
love
you.
that. You mentioned being in Africa, the way that women are, they don't think of themselves at all. And I think that's like a worldwide relatable issue that many women have. And I think it varies in degrees, right?
Yes.
So I think that for a lot of us, I'm putting myself in this category because so often, I mean, I never really thought about having to, I didn't feel there was room for me. And even when you give yourself a little bit of time and you give yourself a little bit of care, it's not necessarily the whole picture, because loving yourself goes beyond just taking care of, certain needs that you might have. And I believe that's what you were touching on, centering in the light within yourself and the love that exudes from you is such a beautiful way to express that, because it really does hone in on being your own soulmate. And that means the boundaries for yourself, like what Victoria shares, is, for peace and for her own peace within herself, she starts with this practice, and that ripples throughout her day. Same with you exuding the light within yourself. And we don't do this perfectly every day.
No.
I know I don't. So
Yeah.
yes, I don't strive for perfection. I strive for my personal excellence. And what that means is my excellence now in every moment. So if that means I, mess something up, or I feel really tired and I snap at someone, then
Yes.
that is my excellence in that moment.
Exactly. Acceptance.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that's part of being your own soulmate, because when we think of like how we would want someone to be our soulmate, we usually think of someone outside of ourselves, right? A love interest. And if we want someone to accept us for who we are, I think generally most people want this. It's universal. We all want to be loved. We all want to be accepted. We all want to be seen, understood. Someone that's always got your back, that's there for you no matter what. When we become that for ourselves and allow ourselves to have boundaries that are based in our values, what we value in life, knowing what our values are is the key towards our happiness. Because when we set boundaries based on what we value, then there's no disharmony within ourselves. We don't say yes to things that we don't value.
Yes.
We don't agree to things that we don't value. And so this is part of being your own soulmate as well, is bringing all those pieces together so that you are clear about what your own personal directive is, your own personal manifesto.
Yes.
And when you can do that, your boundaries become easy. How many of you have set a boundary going, I'm not going to tolerate that anymore, that's it?
Yeah.
Then you kind of overdo the boundary. You're like, no, I can't do that. And you get a little bit, hard edged around it. And that really it's really a sign of insecurity around the boundary. You're not really sure how you're going to do it. You're not comfortable with it. You're not even sure if it aligns with your beliefs and your true values, if you know what those are. And so you can kind of overdo those boundaries, and other people feel it. They think, wow, okay, do you? That's fine.
Yeah.
So when it comes from that truer place, it really does make a difference. And I appreciate your share. So sorry if I was getting on my soapbox a little there, but
Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda.
Hello.
Teresa, you're next.
Good morning, everyone, beautiful ladies. Thank you, Josette, for such a wonderful teaching. I love this. I love Thursday morning. I love everything that everyone has to offer, but I really especially loved it this morning. You know, I think that's been one of my biggest challenge is putting myself first.
Mhm.
I am that person that will drop everything if you need me, you know? I am that person that people call at 2 o'clock in the morning because I will pick up the phone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's been a struggle for me. And I'm getting a little bit emotional because I've been working on myself for the past 5 years and I'm getting stronger.
Mm-hmm.
My sign when you were talking, it
Yeah.
was the infinity sign.
Oh,
Infinity sign.
yeah.
And it's because I don't know, I see it as a positive because I'm always I'm able to come back, right?
Yes.
The down and the up and the down and the up.
Yes.
And I how would I put it? Like I just like this is not me. I have to get strong. I have to get up. I have to do it. And so I've learned to meditate. I think I shared that last week too. And I've learned to meditate in the past 5 years. And right now I'm loving sound healing. I am loving it.
Fantastic. Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I'm serious. I tried it about a year and a half ago
Mhm.
in real life with
Yes.
the group. And I was just so amazed of how I felt and how I really just went to another world. I was totally completely
Yeah.
floating. I had to open my eyes just to see if I was still there. So I've grown a lot, you know, but the infinity sign to me felt really strong right now, just
Mhm.
because I'm not able to be my own soulmate.
Mm.
And I'm trying. I try to, I give it my best to try to myself, talk to myself like so positively. So
Yeah.
now I switched it a little bit where I'm not talking to this Teresa. I'm talking to my little girl, Teresa.
Oh, Teresa, I love that.
And that's been working a lot better because I
Yes.
go, oh baby, don't do that, don't feel like that, you know. So I'm talking to my little girl.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you have any. I would love any input.
Yes, yes, I'd be happy to. I think that in midlife, your inner child really starts raising her voice. And it's so wonderful that you are connecting with her because all of the things that you didn't feel you got, you get to give. And do you have children?
I have two boys.
And how old are
Older.
they?
Yeah, they're older, 31 and 35.
Okay, okay. So you're not raising children.
No, no, I'm not raising children. I'm raising
So-
dogs. I have 3 labs. So it's like 12 children.
Yeah, that is like 12 children. But it's wonderful that you are connecting with that inner child now and nurturing her and giving her that space because so often think about like the things that upset her when you were young, like, and can still affect you now. So how many times have you been making decisions from your 8-year-old self or your 7-year-old self? It happens so often and it's insidious. We don't even know we're doing it. And so focusing in on her is going to allow you to start seeing where she needs to be nurtured and her mind put to rest. And one of the things that I've done recently, because I still work with my inner child, she shows up and I I didn't have to do anything. What I did was I loved her and nurtured her and embraced her and then said, it's your turn to go play and rest because I had a very tumultuous childhood. You know, I didn't have a lot of playtime or freedom in that way. And so I have a very serious inner child and I wanted her to be relieved from that. And so I allowed her to just go off. And so when you love yourself to the point that you as the adult takes over and you've loved her enough that you can let her just go. Not that she's not a part of you, you know, I'm not trying to say you're severing off part of yourself. I'm just saying that you allow her to rest in peace. And so then she's not in charge of your life. Because when we don't know that they're in charge, they're in charge. And I'm like, I'm letting a 4-year-old decide this decision. That's a pretty big decision. What am I doing?
Yeah, exactly. And being the oldest of six, I had a lot of
Oh,
responsibility very,
wow.
very early on. And then I became a mom pretty young, like very young. So I had that responsibility until the boys moved out. And so now it's like, this is my light. It's my time. It's my turn. It's
Yes.
just been a challenge. I'm working on it and working on it very, very hard. But yeah, I'm loving the journey, but it's been tough.
It can be
Yeah.
challenging, right?
Yes.
And reframe that working hard, because it doesn't have to be like, I have to apply all this hard work to it, because then you're going to miss some things because you're so hyper focused. So if you allow space to breathe, relax it, relax the energy and the thoughts around your inner child, and just say, I'm welcoming you.
Okay, I love that.
Welcome her and her feedback and her input to you, so that you can then be that confidant for her. You can be that loving space, the safe space.
Love it.
So you're exercising this duality within yourself by
Mhm.
parenting and recognizing the feelings of your inner child. And so think about what you would do for your own children.
Mhm.
Like, you would never say, I'm working really hard to take care of you.
Yeah.
Right.
No. Uh-huh.
So that's part of loving yourself even more, being your own soulmate, embracing your inner child.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
wonder if it all this stem from undeserving and the feeling of having this obligation as women
Mm.
to that we must do this thing like it's part of our job. But I'm gonna since it's 7:51, so I'm gonna have Aster uh go ahead and say something here. I see your peace sign on your t-shirt, by the way. Can you unmute?
Yes, thank you for inviting me. This is so beautiful. It touched my heart. Thank you for everything. Um, Mine is just, when I was meditating, I'm just tired, exhausted, and I'm relaxing. And then I almost fall asleep. So I see a cloud and floating cloud in the sky. And then I was just more enjoying the music and rest time,
Mm.
because I have a sick child and I'm so busy.
Yeah.
My life is, I'm supposed to retire, but all of a sudden, my children is growing. But one of my last baby, he was sick, and I'm just a caregiver. So I'm trying to do meditation. I try to do it once a day, just to collect my energy,
Mhm.
and then praying time. I'm sorry, I'm just emotional too. So that time is so important, precious to me. That 1 hour meditation, connecting with my God, and resting my body, and I really enjoy that. So um, thank you. Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
everything. It's so beautiful. We all need this. We all need this. So
Is there anything that you need for support right now, Aster?
yes, I do, of course.
Is there anything I can offer you?
Just talking to me, help
Okay.
me praying.
Yeah. It's a difficult thing to know that you have situations that require so much of you.
Yes.
And of course, I know you do it out of love and it's heartfelt. And then I just would like to offer you to don't be hard on yourself. Even, and that's not telling you what to do. It's a suggestion, actually. When you have those moments of, okay, I've had enough. My wish for you is that you refrain from judging yourself about having those feelings, because I think it can be so easy for us, especially as women, because I believe what Rini was saying hit it right on the head. We are raised to be the nurturers, to always sacrifice ourselves. We are not, good mothers if we don't do that. We're not good women if we don't do that. And so it's a requirement to be a woman to sacrifice herself and to put herself last. And so when you have those moments of, wanting to have retreat for yourself, do your very best to give that to yourself, because it's something that you require. And if you don't have that for you, then your giving gets bitter. Not that you're going to be bitter. I'm just saying, take care of you, and you don't have to feel bad about that. And I hope that that helps guide you a little bit, because I think that that's overwhelming sometimes. I can see it with you, that it feels that way.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Josette.
you. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that this caregiving idea of women being the caregiver, it can be overwhelming. And Omeka is next. She's in the same situation for her mom. Omeka, go ahead.
Yeah, hey everybody. I was kind of listening. The heart, like after the fact, a heart came to me, and yeah, working on a lot of heart, not working, but yeah, opening my heart to forgiveness and love and all kind of wonderful things over here, and even through my trials and tribulations or whatever, my heart has been one of my not missions, but my purpose is to send love and energy from my heart and to heal my heart, and probably from all lifetimes. And yeah, so that's about it for that. But yeah, we'll watch it again and do the actual meditations. I was moving around a lot.
It's okay.
But thank you for that.
You're very welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, Omeka is a caregiver for her mom, bless her heart. She has such a great attitude with this energy and giving attitude. Just awesome.
Such a big
Yeah. Marla, welcome. Do we know you? We've been going we've been taking turn having everyone's kind of share their story. Do you want to share anything? Do you want to turn on your camera so we could see you? Marla? Okay, maybe not. Okay, it's 7:58. This has been a wonderful conversation. This about women in midlife, empty nester, and all of the above, and the sense of obligation that we are the caregiver and we need to be taking care of everybody else but ourselves. So, Josette, with that, I'm going to turn it back to you. We need to close soon.
Yes.
Sometimes we go a little bit over, which is okay. But does anybody else want to say anything before I turn it back to Josette to close this out? Next week is the 4th of July, and Teresa will be sharing an educational session. It's about the living benefits awareness. So, yeah, anybody want to say anything before I turn it back to Josette? Carol, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I loved the discussion about the inner child. And I've done some work on the inner child. I wanted to share a practice that I actually do every day, like a meditation, like meditating every day. I talk to my inner child, even if it's just for a minute.
Yeah.
And I actually named her Carrie. And then just to reassure her that I know you're afraid, I know you're scared, I know you're feeling anxious, and it's okay because it's okay. I'm the adult and I'm going to make, my name is Carol, I'm Carol. I'm the adult, I am going to make the decisions, the adult decisions for you so that you can play. And together we need each other. I need you, your delightfulness, your joy. You know, I need you to hang on to that while I, the adult, will take care of all the decisions and make the adult decisions so that together we can shine and together we can take care of what we need to do in life.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that. I do that every day.
That's wonderful.
Beautiful. I love that word delightful, delightfulness. It's your turn.
At the core of all of us, yes,
Yeah.
is the inner child, is the joy that we do need to hang on to and allow to shine and bring into our lives.
That's such an important share, Carol. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Love that. Are you ready for me to close, Renee?
Yes, go ahead and
Okay.
close this out, Josette. Thank you so much. I think this is a wonderful conversation. We all need to hear this. And I think to be able to share, it's kind of a release where you could just share somebody, this is our experience. I think Esther want to say something before we close
Yes.
this out. Go ahead, Esther. You're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, how do we get this meditation to practice? I really want to do it by myself.
That's a good question. So I actually do meditations as a offer, and I'm getting ready to put myself on Insight Timer, so you'll be able to find them there as well.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you a link right now to just, if you want to have a conversation with me, you can. It's just a free conversation, no obligation. I promise I'm not some big hard sell.
And Josette, you can also post any link or any offer on the women chat also.
Okay,
after
thank
this
you.
meeting. So, Esther, I think you're part of the women group. If not, I'll add you to it. So
Okay.
you have access to the link.
Okay.
Is it okay if I put it up here, Renee, for
Yes,
now?
yes,
And then,
yes,
okay.
go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so my gosh, there's too many things going on here. Hold on. Let me get this a little bigger so you can see it. Okay, so I offer a free Let's Chat, and it's literally a 30-minute conversation just to see what it is that you're looking for, what you need guidance with. And there's a QR code here, and then here is the link itself. And I'll also put it in the group for you guys. And I'd love to invite you to follow me on my social media, and I will follow you back. And that way we can stay in touch. And I just really thank you for, it's not often that I get into a group that women are willing to be so open. And so I really, really genuinely appreciate each and every one of you for sharing that with me and everyone else in the group. I know you kind of know all each other more, but it's really, I think, a testament to what Renee has put together here and you coming together collectively. So are you okay if I stop the share? Did everybody get what they
Yes.
need here? Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
I just want to thank you. And I also run a free meetup group called An Artist Guide to Journaling. And I'll put that link in the chat as well. So if you want to do another exercise like this, that's what I do there.
Okay, good.
So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I really appreciate being able to present to you, and thank you for your time, and thank you for having me, Renee.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Josette. Wonderful conversation and guidance. So next week, come back again for Teresa's presentation, an educational session on living benefits. I appreciate and love all of you. So have a great day, great weekend, and we'll see you all back here next week. Thank you
Thank
again,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yes, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.